What if every word you speak left a structure behind? What if every sentence became a beam? Every phrase a doorway? Every silence a foundation? Chosen one, have you ever wondered what the rooms of your life look like to those who walk through them? Some men leave only echoes, walls thin with drafts, ceilings that collapse at the first storm. But you are called to build differently. You are called to let your tongue be a tool, not a trumpet. For a trumpet only announces, but a tool constructs. And every doorway remembers the last word you spoke beneath it, whether that word was safe to dwell in or brittle enough to break. The world is held together not only by stone and steel, but by beams invisible to the eye. Beams of speech, beams of tone, beams of breath. Words do not just vanish into the air. They linger, they frame, they carry weight, shaping the very climate of a room. That is why before you speak, you must breathe. Let that breath travel down past fear, past the urge to perform, past the shallow surface where impression lives. Let it sink into the chamber where courage is born, where truth sharpens without cruelty, where love strengthens without spectacle. Ask yourself, what are my words meant to do? Are they meant to bless, to clarify, to repair, to invite? Or are they meant only to impress? If the answer is only to impress, then silence is wiser. For impressions are houses made of paper. No one can live inside them. The feminine spirit knows this instantly. She can feel the draft the moment she steps in. She does not want cleverness. She longs for shelter that can survive the storm. When you speak as one who builds with care, attention does not scatter. It gathers around you as late afternoon light gathers across the floor. Warm, steady, directional. Light at that hour does not shout. It simply makes everything clear. This is the kind of weight your presence can carry if you unlearn the language of scarcity. Scarcity infects sentences with fear. It makes jokes that cut just to look brave. It makes anecdotes that center you just to feel indispensable. It makes opinions into verdicts because questions feel too vulnerable. Scarcity leaves people gasping, but generosity opens windows. Let your words be like a bakery, open early, consistent, warm. Let honesty rise like fresh bread and send it sent down the street before anyone enters. Say thank you in detail, so gratitude has texture. Say I was wrong with precision, so responsibility has weight. Say I need help before pride becomes too expensive for those around you. Say I forgive you without keeping ledgers beneath the counter. These are currencies that never lose value. Chosen ones keep them in circulation, and with them they purchase freedom everywhere they go. Make beauty part of everything you give to the world. Beauty is not about cost. It is about attention. Beauty is not found in luxury, but in the way you notice the details that tell people their lives have value. A clean margin on a page is not decoration. It is a breath, a pause, a message that the reader is not expected to suffocate under words. A tool returned to its place is not about tidiness. It is respect for the one who will reach for it next. A slide that says less and carries more meaning is not simplicity for its own sake. It is mercy to the tired, a way of saying their minds are not fuel to be stripped. Your desk does not need to inspire envy. It needs to carry purpose. A man's greatness is not proven by what he owns, but by the clarity his presence communicates. When your space is ordered, when your work is intentional, you become the kind of man whose arrival steadies a room before he has spoken. You will notice it first in the loosening of shoulders, then in the shift of speech, as words become clearer, sharper, cleaner, choosing verbs over noise. Live as if apprenticeship never ends. You're always teaching. You are always learning. Every moment is a classroom, whether you are aware of it or not. When the junior person asks a question, do not treat it as interruption. See it as invitation to transform knowledge into belonging. Answer with patience. Share the mistakes you once made, not as shame, but as proof that growth is possible. Admit where you once stumbled and how you found your balance. Speak of mentors not as trophies in the past, but as wells you still drink from. To name them is to honor them, and to honor them is to remind others that greatness is never solitary. Credit travels farther than talent because it multiplies the soil in which talent grows. When you give it freely, you become a source, not a bottleneck, and people are drawn to sources. The feminine spirit especially recognizes sources. She knows instinctively that a source does not dry up when unpraised. It flows because flowing is its nature. Let your work bless beyond wages. Pay the unseen costs that no budget anticipates. Give the extra half hour that spares confusion tomorrow. Write the context that allows a colleague to say yes without fear. Leave the handwritten note that keeps a volunteer from quietly fading. These gestures do not trend, they endure. Endurance has a fragrance, subtle but unforgettable. It smells of cedar, of patience, of smoke from problems solved without spectacle. It clings to your clothes, rests on your breath, lingers around you in silence. People will lean in, sensing something they cannot name. What they feel is staying power, the gravity of someone who chooses the next right task without needing to broadcast it. Do not build your identity on fatigue. Too many men confuse exhaustion with evidence. They hold up their tiredness as if it were proof of worth. But tiredness is not a resume. It may be honest, but it is not holy. Sleep on time. Eat as though someone wants you alive. Walk far enough that your lungs remember they are strong, and your ideas find you instead of you chasing them. Learn to rest before collapse. A Sabbath is not laziness, it is wisdom. It is not a nap stolen from ambition, but a rhythm that keeps the well from going dry. When you honor rest, your intensity shifts. It no longer depends on adrenaline, but begins to cooperate with wisdom. Nothing is more magnetic than a man who can carry weight without making that weight his personality. Feminine women sense the difference at once. They are not nourished by martyrdom masquerading as masculinity. They are nourished by presence that refuses to glorify self-neglect. They are drawn to men whose strength has tenderness, whose drive has patience, whose labor is rooted in rest. Hold a vision of usefulness that keeps ego leashed. Your work is not your identity. It is a gift moving through you, like medicine carried by a courier to someone who has waited all night. Deliver it with tenderness. Deliver it with reverence. If no one thanks you, stay kind. If someone thanks the wrong person, stay generous. If someone thanks you too loudly, redirect the praise. As a river redirects overflow into fields that thirst. The chosen ones live like this across their various callings. Teachers who grade with fairness and hope. Drivers who make a city kinder by how they merge. Founders who measure success by what their people become. Artists who refuse to make pain their brand. The company you keep in secret. The habits, the mentors, the prayers, the disciplines, will keep you steady where the world can see. End your days with completion. Do not carry the residue of unfinished pride or hidden contempt into tomorrow. Close loops. Send a single sentence that allows another to rest. Bless the tasks you finished, and bless the ones you could not. Put the tool back. Wipe the bench. Speak aloud 3 things your word taught you today. Whisper sorry into the night for the corner you cut or the tone you regret. Then release the day so tomorrow is free of yesterday's clutter. Live like this, and you will carry a quiet radiance into every room. Women will not chase your shadow. They will choose your weather. They will call you fascinating when what they mean is steady, devoted, human. Desire that honors becomes invitation. Desire that fears becomes pressure. You are not made to pressure. You are made to bless. Let your pursuit be a river with banks. A river without banks becomes a flood, destroying memory. A river with banks becomes a path where villages grow. Pursuit is not proof of worth. It is companionship offered to support another's becoming. When you know this, every gesture changes temperature. A text becomes warm without being urgent. A plan becomes specific without being possessive. Silence becomes space, not punishment. Both remain whole. Both remain free. Clarity is attractive. Ambiguity often hides as sophistication, but is usually confusion. Say plainly, I would like to take you to the place we laughed about Thursday at 7, and I will make the reservation. Clarity is erotic because it creates safety, and safety permits curiosity. If her answer is no, let dignity lead. No is holy. Bless it. It is not failure. It is timing. If her answer is yes, pace yourself. Fascination likes speed. Affection likes rhythm. Build rhythm together. Arrive on time. Give undivided attention. Leave clean. Follow up kindly. Rhythm keeps fire alive, protecting it from reckless wind. Listen for seasons. Some hearts are in spring, eager, colorful, ready for rain. Some are in summer, spacious, generous, offering shade. Some are in autumn, grateful, wise, careful with what remains. Some are in winter, silent, preserving roots deep where sight cannot reach. Pursuit that honors freedom recognizes the season it has entered. Do not demand fruit where blossoms are only learning courage. Do not demand grief to thaw before its time. Keep your yes wide enough to hold another's pace without treating it as verdict on your value. Patience makes attraction believable. Impatience makes it costly. Courtship is a craft. Approach it with the hands of a craftsman and the soul of a pilgrim. Learn her joys from their sources, not from their surfaces. If she loves music, ask what silence she hears inside it. If she loves the sea, ask what weight the horizon lifts from her. If she loves her work, ask which parts feel like worship and which parts threaten to turn worship into worry. These questions create space for a person instead of constructing a museum to an image. Women do not long to be exhibits in your story. They long to be travelers who can rest beside you without bargaining for ground. Honor boundaries the first time. They are not obstacles to charm your way past. They are architecture, the structure that keeps a person livable. When she says, not tonight, believe her and keep your warmth intact. When she says, this subject is tender, adjust the conversation like a host adjusting the lights, not with panic, but with sense. When she says, I need slowness here, change the tempo as a skilled dancer changes steps. The body remembers who made it safe to be listened to, and that memory becomes appetite that trusts itself. Interest does not weaken when it meets boundaries. It deepens because it sees the person instead of the fantasy. Let humor be part of pursuit, but never humor that spends dignity. Laugh together at the world's pretensions, at your own mistakes, at the holy inconvenience of being human. Joy is oxygen. Couples who can laugh together can grow together. Do not mock what she loves, even playfully, until you have learned to cradle it. Do not repay vulnerability with cleverness. Repay it with gentleness that proves you listened. Leave conversations brighter, taller, freer. That is pursuit that builds futures, not performances. Write letters in an age that has forgotten how, not for vintage flair, but for slowed intention. A page carries weight a screen cannot. It smells of commitment even when the promise is only a single paragraph. Handwriting confesses you are willing to move at human speed, and human speed is where trust keeps its keys. Women feel it in their ribs. They keep such letters where they keep their courage. Keep desire clean by giving it somewhere holy to kneel. Desire left to itself becomes a hungry god. Desire placed in gratitude learns reverence. Thank God for every yes, for every no, for every waiting day that teaches patience instead of persuasion. Gratitude transforms pursuit from consumption into offering. It turns scarcity into sufficiency. It shifts longing from needing to be chosen into the joy of choosing rightly. The chosen live this way as a culture. Men who pursue without cornering, women who answer without apology, communities that reward kindness above conquest. And when endings come, honor them with the same reverence as beginnings. If the path forks away from romance and toward respect, bless it. Do not ghost to avoid discomfort. Do not scorch the earth with speeches to justify yourself. Say thank you for what was true. Say sorry for what you mishandled. Say goodbye like a man who knows bridges matter. A clean ending preserves freedom. That freedom will return as favor in rooms you cannot yet see.